Hi, welcome. Simon here, and I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'll walk you through step by step on how to replace the full assembly keyboard, battery, and the trackpad. So let me show you the replacement part here. This one is a used replacement part. I wanted to share that with you. As you can see that the keyboard, the trackpad, as well as the battery is all one piece together. So if you have a bad keyboard, then hopefully this video would help you and guide you to this replacement. And if you have a bad trackpad or the battery, then maybe this video would help you as well. All right, so I recommend you to buy a full assembly versus just the battery itself if you're planning to change the battery, or just the trackpad itself, right? Because if you want to change the trackpad, you need to remove the battery. Removing the battery is not easy job, just so you know, okay? And if you have a bad keyboard, then for sure you need to replace the full keyboard assembly. All right, full assembly on this part. Now, what I wanted to point out to you is that the laptop battery here is swollen, so meaning it is pushing from the inside out, and you can feel like the trackpad is not clickable. A certain area you can't even press it down. And when I take it apart, I can see that the battery is swollen and is pushing against from the back inside out towards the trackpad. So we are going to remove the entire keyboard, meaning that we'll be transferring the motherboard and the LCD over to that used assemble keyboard. All right, so let's get started. The first thing you need to have is the Pentalope P5 screwdriver here. Remove the 2 screws. And again, I forgot to show you the model here. If you take a look at the back of your laptop, this model here is A1708 Macbook Pro 13-inch. And the reason why your battery is swollen or became fat is all because you may have plugged in the charger almost like 24/7. You need to give the battery a break. You can't just plug in the charger all the time. And if you do so, you shorten the lifetime of the battery. All right, so from now on, once you change out the new battery, what you want to do is when you're using it, you plug the charger in. When you're done using it, please unplug, especially at nighttime when you go to sleep. You're not using it, just unplug the charger, okay? Now the next step is to, what I did was I used my fingernail and push the back cover to separate the 2 little side clipper. The clipper is the one that's holding down the back plate. You need to push it to separate them. Once you have separated them, now you can slide the back cover down, slide it down towards yourself. Once you slide it down, you remove the back cover. Again, I just wanted to point out to you the 2 side clipper is clipping onto that. You need to push it out first, okay? Now here you can see that the person have replaced the battery by someone else. This is not original Apple battery. And again, every time when you change the battery, please change the Apple product, the OEM. Even though if it's a used product, the reason why I say that, because nowadays all the battery is a smart battery. They call it as a smart battery. They have the condition. They can tell the condition of your battery, right? As well as the cycles count on the battery, things like that. So smart battery is important. Now I'm pretty sure this is the third-party battery, and if you plug it in and turn it on, it will tell you the condition of the battery is excellent or good, right? Because they do not want to show you the battery is bad, then you would never know. Take a look here. The battery is swollen on this part, on the left side. Okay, it's flat here in the middle, it's flat here on the right. You don't see any lump on it, but on the left it's lumpy and it's hard. But if you go to the settings will tell you the condition of the battery is excellent. So don't buy or do not change with the third-party ones. All right, let's get going. First, we need to disconnect the the battery. So let's flip open this plastic cover. Open up the clipper. You need to flip the safety connector clipper up and slide that flex cable to your left. Once you have done that part, get yourself a T4, a torque-full screwdriver, and remove this screw. Alright, so let's get going. First of all, we definitely need to remove the screen, right, and then transfer the motherboard over. So let's remove the screen as normal. Usually I'll do here. We remove the screws. I know some of you may say like, hey, transferring the motherboard, you know, is risky. There's going to be a chance that you know, you damage the motherboard or not installing the cable correctly. Therefore, it is much better to remove or replace the battery itself. You're correct. There's a slight chance that those things would happen. Given the risk of everything, and I feel like I'm okay to just change out the motherboard, because I do not want to install a third-party battery not knowing the condition of it and keep using a broken or a bad battery, right? If this thing keeps swollen and pushing out, if it explode, catch fire, I don't know, maybe you'll burn down the house, apartment. If you have it in a backpack at school, there will be a disaster. If you have it in a car, right, you run down to Starbucks, grab yourself a coffee, leave the backpack in a hot sun, and the battery is bad, then yeah, a lot of things could happen. So now, where's my missing screw? I just dropped the screw or what? Oh well, we'll find out where the screw went in a bit. There should be one screw that we're unscrewing on that part. I'm not sure where did it go. Missing one screw so far. It's the screw that holds down to the bracket on the right side. I missed that. I know that I unscrew it, but it doesn't stick to the screwdriver. Okay, so I'm still using a T4 screwdriver, just so you know, and removing these 4 screws. We definitely need to remove the LCD screen and transfer it over. Okay, that 4 screws is removed. T4 again. We need to remove this plastic so we can get to the hinge. Okay, 2 screw, remove the plastic. Two screws and remove the hinge. The plastic cover. Get yourself a T8. 3 screws here on the side. Hey, if you guys were able to tell me where that screw went in the beginning, just tell me what time frame and how did the screw went missing. I'm just curious. It was right there when I unscrew it and it just poof, gone. Alright, so that is done. Now the next step is you need to have a Pentalope P2, which is the 0.8. That is the size of the screwdriver. We need to remove all the tiny screw that is holding down this Wi-Fi antenna. Okay, once you have done with that, double check. Now we can remove the antenna here. So just simply lift it up, and you want to slide that cable. Watch out for the Wi-Fi antenna cable. Slide it out away from your body. So slide it underneath and out. All right, so that is done. Where's my missing screw? Oh, right here, I found it. Haha. Okay, now once that is done, so I'm going to open up the laptop at 90-degree angle or slightly more than that. Kind of push the hinge out, right? Push it out, and the entire screen will just come right off. Save the screen, put it on the side because we need to reuse that same screen later on. Okay, so take a look at here. The used one comes with the speaker ready to go and the CPU fan, right? So pretty much I need to transfer the entire motherboard over to that. So let's get started. Using a T4 screwdriver. Make sure you open up the plastic, expose the plastic, flip the clipper open, and you want to slide that cable down. So slide it down. Okay, do the same thing for this part here. Slide it down. So there are two cables. If you pay close attention, there's one here on the top. Hidden underneath, there's another second cable. Open up the cable and slide it down. Okay, once you have done removing that part of the speaker side, see what else is still holding on to it. It looks like we do need to transfer this little thing here. Oh no, it comes with it. So let's see what else do I need to do. T4, the heatsink has a little screw right here, so let's remove that screw. All right, it looks like it's coming off pretty soon, and this cable is holding down. Let's go ahead and do that. Open up the clipper, slide it down. Off we go. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I just removed the motherboard. Okay, I just want to tuck this rubber back in. Okay, right, I just removed the motherboard. We'll be transferring the entire motherboard over to the used full assembly keyboard. Okay, let's go ahead and do so. So the best is to make sure that all the cables are flipping on top of it, right? Because we want the cable to be on top of the motherboard, not underneath the motherboard. So you want to slide the USB-C connector. So this is the little USB-C. Let's slide it in here first, all the way in. I have this cable, go on top of that, trackpad on top of that, the battery on top of that, two little cable on top of that, and the last USB is going to be on top of that as well. And let it sit on its own. It should just fall back in, nice and easy. Readjust, realign, everything looks good. First thing first, do not forget the heat sink. There's one screw here, so go ahead and install that back down. All right, so let's connect this cable back in, push it in. Open up the clipper, make sure the clipper is open, ready to insert. Take your time when you do this. I'm not sure why they make it so difficult to install. Okay, push it all the way in, close it down, put the tape back down. Flex cable, push it all the way in. You can pull a little bit, push the clipper down, close it back in. Trackpad, close it in. This one here, make sure the clipper is open. Let's slide the cable back in. Pull a little bit, tuck it all the way in. That is great. So let's go ahead and start putting all the screws back together. If you're not sure where to buy the replacement parts and the tools, please feel free to check in the description below. What I'll do is I'll link them where it will direct you to either Amazon or eBay where you can find a replacement part, and hopefully you can follow along my video here and get yourself, replace the battery or the keyboard or the trackpad, something like that. Hopefully this video is helpful to you. Okay, all right, so that keyboard is all done, is installed. The next step is to reinstall the screen. Have all the cables sitting on top of the motherboard, right? And slide that hinge back in. So slide it back in. Make sure the hinge is open at 90-degree angle when you do that, and always double check that, make sure the cable, it is sticking out freely. Okay, now once you have that process done, I just need one screw. Get yourself a T8 screw driver and lock it in, because we need to close the screen and continue fixing the computer. So just that one screw holding down the hinge, therefore we can just close it. Okay, now you can shut the screen. Double check the cable. They are good. They are not clipped. They're above the laptop, which is nice. T8, finish up the rest of it. Okay, we are almost done, so let's keep watching. And here is the Wi-Fi antenna. The two cable, you want to go ahead and tug it in between that metal right here. So you want to go slide it in. There's a little hole, tiny little hole. So slide it in. And make sure that the metal is sitting on top the motherboard using a T4. Gently, I'm not screwed all the way in yet because I want to make sure that my cable is enough room to make that bend. For the Wi-Fi, the circle, the connector, the motherboard is smaller and the connector is bigger, so it go on top of each other. And what you want to do is you just want to make sure that it is aligned properly, sitting on top. It doesn't take a lot of pressure to install. You don't have to force it in. So as long as you get it aligned in the right position, the thing can just easily go in together. Okay. All right, so the next step is to get the plastic hinge. Let's go ahead and cover that up. Do not forget the two screws holding down the plastic. Okay, once you have done that process, now this is the most tedious part, which you have to have this tiny little screw that going back to the Wi-Fi antenna. And again, if you miss one or two, you dropped it, that's not a big deal. If you know the reason why Apple put that many screw here for the Wi-Fi antenna, please comment below and let me know. I still haven't figured it out. Why do they need that many of the screws here? I just feel like, really? You get what I mean? But anyway, it is what it is. So no rush. You don't have to rush yourself in this process. Take your time. The screw is so small, and make sure that you do not overturn it, right? Over tighten that screw, because if you stripped it, then you would have a bad time taking it out. So I would rather you take your time, pause the video if you have to, and yeah, and just focus on this putting the screw back together. Okay, once you have done that process, the next step is to get the LCD board installed on the Wi-Fi antenna, right? Make sure them to go back properly. I'm coming back here, tighten up that Wi-Fi thing. Okay, once you have done that process, get the LCD cable installed back in. They're just like Lego. Once you find them in the right position, just snap it back in. This two little thing, black thing, again, you need to fold it back. So kind of fold it backwards and then tug it in. It's hard to explain to you, but you get what I mean. You just have to push that plastic backwards and then push it in to install. Do not forget the 2 screws. We are pretty much there. If you still follow along the video so far, congrats, we are almost done. And if you have any question regarding about the repair, feel free to comment below. I do read your comments and I'll try to answer you in a timely manner. Okay, have the bracket, put it back in, and the 2 screws holding down the bracket. Whoa, for some reason it's having a hard time to install this screw. So tiny. Okay, there you go. That took me a while. Sorry about that. They seem to be very hard to get back in today for some reason. Come on. Okay. That wasn't that bad. Last one. Okay, that was easy. Now the next part is go ahead and get the battery reconnect back together. And make sure the clipper is open. Slide the cable to your right. Okay, slide it to your right, push the clipper back down, lock it in. Pretty much is all set. Get the plastic back in. We are going to slide the cover. So you need to have the 45-degree angle to slide it back in, right? Remember how we slide it out in the beginning of the video? Now you have to slide it back in, press the two sides of the clipper, lock it, and all the screws that goes back in. Alright, so I really do hope that this video is helpful for you, because it is a long process to do the full assembly keyboard replacement with the battery and the touchpad. Again, if you feel like you want to just change out the trackpad yourself or just the battery, you can give that a try. Personally, I find that very difficult for me, so I'd rather using the motherboard transfer is easier. You just have to unscrew and screw it back in. Alright, so hopefully this video is helpful, and if you do find it helpful, please go ahead and smash the like button for me. Please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. I'm more than happy to welcome you on board. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye now.